The curse of Oak Island has haunted humanity for centuries. Different minds have created different speculations, and some of them have even found physical evidence. So today, I am bringing you 3 wildest treasure stories about the island. The curse began to find different backings after the legend of Captain Kidd became a folklore, a notorious pirate who is rumored to have buried treasure on Oak Island. It is said that he placed a curse on the treasure to protect it from being discovered. Fast forward to 2023, June 7th, 2023. The Lagena brothers made a significant discovery in their search for the Oak Island treasure with a new scanning tool called ground-penetrating radar. They were excavating in Smith's Cove, an area of the island believed to be the treasure's location, when they found a large stone slab buried 10 feet under the ground with strange symbols of 1 inch carved into it. The slab weighs around 1,000 pounds and is composed of limestone and about 3 feet broad, 2 feet tall, and 6 inches thick. The Lagena brothers sought professional aid for interpretation because they thought the symbols on the slab had some significance despite being unintelligible. Sadly, thus far, their efforts haven't been fruitful. This is the first significant discovery in the area since they started looking in 2015. The brothers are relentlessly digging in the region in the hopes of finding further leads, since they are persuaded that the slab may contain a hint as to the whereabouts of the riches. Besides the stone slab, they have also discovered several other priceless things at Smith's Cove, including coins, wooden planks, and beams, among other artifacts, over the years. But that's not all. The brothers claim that these discoveries show a sophisticated flood control mechanism was in place to safeguard the jewels, bringing them one step closer to finding the treasure buried on Oak Island. And this time, they go on many different terrain and paths. On June 14th, 2023, the team discovered a broken piece of old metal, adding more confusion in this decade-old treasure hunt. The metal has a diameter of approximately 1 inch and is about 1/2 inch thick. It is made of a copper alloy and has an illegible raised pattern on one side that shows a face or human form. According to the brothers, this metal object was part of a coin made in the 17th century, which is a significant hint that Oak Island's treasures were hidden there then. Although unclear, the experts think it to be a chunk of money. Who knows? On top of that, they struggle to explain the meaning of the coin's design. This metal chunk is the second most significant discovery in the area, which signifies yet another crucial development in the ongoing search for Oak Island's treasures. The lads continue to scan the environment intently in search of fresh cues. To them, the design appeared as an ambiguous face of a human. The metal item that was unexpectedly found 12 feet below the surface weighs barely 0.5 ounces. Moving on with the discoveries, on June 21st, 2023, the Lagena brothers made another important discovery, an unusual little piece of wood. It was initially built from oak, which has a remarkable texture. According to the Lagena brothers, the wood could have come from a ship buried on Oak Island in the distant past. And this finding in particular is crucial because it adds evidence suggesting a ship buried the wealth on Oak Island, whereas it implies that precious cargo like gold or silver may have been carried by the ship. In an interview, the crew members said the piece of wood was discovered 15 feet below the ground's surface. Days after days, they were excavating in Smith's Cove on the island, which is supposed to be where the treasure is hidden, when they came upon a little ceramic shard that they believed to be from a jug. The ceramic object is 2 inches in diameter and 0.5 inches thick. It was formed of a substance that mimics clay and has a particular pattern on one side. In the pattern, a flower or plant was observed. The Lagena brothers claim the ceramic piece may have come from a jug used to transport wine or other liquids. This would prove that humans were residing on Oak Island in the 17th century, since it would show where the treasure could be buried. They have made several fascinating discoveries in their search, including several Roman artifacts. A lead sword is among the most important Roman artifacts that the Lagena brothers unearthed. And, to everyone's surprise, Smith's Cove is where the sword was located. The sword is assumed to have been manufactured in Italy and dates to the 1st or 2nd century AD, which is ornamented with several motifs, including a dolphin and a trident, and it is in generally good shape. The pottery fragment is another remarkable Roman artifact that the Lagena brothers unearthed. It was discovered in the island's Money Pit region, and supposed to have been produced in France and dates to the 4th or 5th century AD. On the other hand, it was decorated with symbols, including a cross and a sundial. The brothers discovered several other Roman artifacts on Oak Island beside the lead sword and the piece of pottery. Coins, nails, and jewelry are some of these relics. Some people think that Oak Island was previously visited by Roman explorers because of the existence of these Roman articles. A reality television series called The Curse of Oak Island follows the hunt for riches on Oak Island. The brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, who have been looking for the loot for more than 10 years, are followed throughout the series. The Lagina brothers and their gang continued their hunt for riches on the mysterious island in the most recent episode of The Curse of Oak Island, picking up where the previous one left off. The crew concentrated on the marsh in this episode because it was the location of several intriguing artifacts they had previously discovered, including a lead cross and a stone with the Latin inscription 70 feet below. They were able to locate several abnormalities in the swamp using a range of techniques, including sonar and ground-penetrating radar, which they suspect might represent the remnants of buried buildings. One of the most intriguing oddities is a big rectangular object around 70 feet below the surface. The crew is excited to dig into this to see what they uncover, since they think it may be a treasure box. The crew must not harm what they seek, since the marsh is challenging and dangerous. Eventually, they excavated a tiny area of the item, but could not see what was within. In a later episode, they will have to go back to the swamp to carry on their hunt. Yet, the crew made modest strides on other parts of the island. They started digging a new shaft close to the marsh and continued to drill in the money pit location. The crew made some progress in their hunt for riches, even though they made no significant finds in this episode. They are optimistic that the forthcoming episodes will include something important. As more proof that Oak Island has long been the location of covert operations, or more precisely, clichés, the presence of a nearby treasure, the researchers also discovered traces of earlier human activity. That's not it, though. The real deal was the map they found on the island, which dated back to 1647. It was a French copy, with the labels hatch, valve, and anchor, suggested significant connections. In particular, it suggested that the money may have come from Africa, raising the intrigue around Oak Island. The brothers are convinced this map will point them toward their lost money. The series has followed their journey for over a decade, and it will be interesting to see if they can finally solve the mystery. The story goes that, in 1795, while on an adventure on the island, a group of boys around the age of 13 discovered a dip in the earth. They began digging since they believed it to be a fake hole, and as they dug, they found multiple layers of wood and other things. Yet, a mysterious flood stopped them in their tracks, filling the hole with water and blocking any further excavation. As soon as word of the discovery spread, treasure seekers from all over the world flocked to Oak Island to look for the loot. The Onslow Company, a group of financiers, organized the first orderly excavation of the Money Pit in the year 1803. This specific team was able to dig down to a depth of 90 feet before the flooding, which happened in the pit once more, hampered their attempts. Meanwhile, the excavations were permanently halted in 1909 as the Oak Island Treasure Company went out of business. Since then, several other parties have tried to find the treasure buried on Oak Island, but the riddle of the money pit has remained unsolved to this day. The new season is here. Lagena brother will be back to start a new excavation session in November.
10 years ago, we never would have anticipated going underground in the money pit.
What we're seeing is high-density anomaly below the surface of the money pit.
Yep. Will this be the most exciting historical season yet? The stage is set because the last 3 biggest finds from Season 10 have already taken the world without a recent change in the status quo. The Lagena brothers are confident that they possess the skills necessary to locate the fabled treasure said to be buried on Oak Island. And ultimately, these researchers discovered something in the Oak Island money pit that you won't believe. Join us as we observe them as they investigate this 200-year-old enigma, and together we will determine if there is, in fact, hidden wealth on the island. Throughout the course of their expedition, they stumble upon some astounding discoveries that will astound you. The Lagena brothers have devoted a substantial portion of their careers to locating buried wealth. It is understandable why anyone would be captivated by the prospect of unearthing centuries-old treasure buried by someone in the past. Unfortunately, similar to a large number of other visitors to the island, the brothers initially encountered difficulties and failed in their endeavors. Rick and Marty were fortunate in that their treasure hunting efforts did not go unnoticed. The A&E network became aware of the brothers' work, and recognizing the potential for a compelling series about treasure hunters investigating Oak Island, decided to collaborate with them on a series titled The Curse of Oak Island. It's quite eerie, wouldn't you say? Thanks to their cooperation with the television network, the brothers were able to recover the funds that they had previously spent on their travels to the island. Their research activities attained an entirely new level after receiving financial support from the network and other investors. It is essential to note, however, that despite the influx of wealth, the Lagena brothers and their new investors did not make any noteworthy discoveries during the first 2 seasons of their program. This is something that must be recognized. Despite this, they demonstrated an admirable amount of patience, which is commendable because, as the saying goes, patience is a virtue. After 3 seasons of searching, the explorers on Oak Island finally made significant discoveries that aroused their curiosity. The discovery of a ceremonial Roman sword suggested that Roman soldiers may have visited Oak Island before Christopher Columbus. This major accomplishment opened a floodgate of opportunities for the crew, and as they diligently combed the island for riches, they discovered a wide variety of artifacts and antiquities. A handcrafted replica of a map of France was one of their discoveries, which aroused their interest in the artifact. In order to conduct the analysis, they enlisted the assistance of historian and maritime expert Zena Halpern. After determining that the map was created in 1647, Halpern theorized that the resources it indicated may have originated in Africa. During the course of their investigation, the Lagena brothers and the rest of their crew discovered fragments of a book, which further investigation revealed to be a bookbinder. After making this discovery, the brothers began to contemplate the possibility that they had not yet discovered additional buried manuscripts on the island. A fragment of parchment made from animal skin was yet another fascinating artifact discovered. William Chappell and Frederick Blair, explorers of Oak Island, have been hypothesized to be involved. In the 15th century, when the document was created, only the wealthy could afford to dispatch mail. In addition, the explorers discovered a number of gold coins near a pit that became known as the Money Pit. This location sparked the island's obsession with treasure that has persisted for the past 2 centuries. Unfortunately, a recurring issue with flooding halted Chappell and Blair's treasure hunting expedition when the Money Pit became submerged in water, preventing them from making any further progress. After Chappell and Blair led the way, many others attempted to find treasure on Oak Island, but unfortunately none were successful. Chappell and Blair were only the beginning of a long line of people who followed in their footsteps. The issue of where the loot was hidden evaded even President Roosevelt, despite his best efforts. Despite numerous abortive attempts, the search for treasure on the island continued indefinitely. This was due to the efforts. They dug 5 enormous shafts over the course of several months and discovered indications of its existence. As they were on the verge of disclosing a long-held secret, these discoveries inspired renewed optimism. However, pursuing the Money Pit had been an arduous and challenging endeavor for centuries. The quest was fraught with obstacles that required unwavering resolve and originality. Motivated by the possibility of acquiring a priceless treasure that had eluded countless others, the team descended into the Money Pit in search of the enigmatic treasure. The crew began a difficult mission with the knowledge that obstacles lay ahead. They actively sought out new technologies and strategies to surmount the obstacles. They pursued the treasure with great determination, expecting that their efforts would pay off. However, their journey was not solely motivated by prosperity. Oak Island's search for the Money Pit had a deeper significance. The exploration was motivated by a desire to uncover the mysterious mysteries that had captivated people for centuries. With each stage, the team delved deeper into Oak Island's complexities, driven by an insatiable desire to uncover its hidden truths. The team's unwavering dedication to resolving Oak Island's mysteries was demonstrated by their unflinching pursuit. Their unyielding determination and tenacity accentuated the noble pursuit of knowledge and discovery, resulting in an enduring tale that will forever be associated with human curiosity. Oak Island has been an enigma for centuries, attracting the attention of treasure hunters, historians, and conspiracy theorists. With each new discovery made by the devoted exploration crew, the allure of the island has grown. Experts were astounded to discover a paved area in the wetland, a peculiar anomaly. In addition, they discovered a 500-year-old stone road, shedding light on the island's ancient history and heightening the mystery encircling its secrets. A mid-15th century rock drill was discovered in the B4C shaft, which was possibly the most astonishing discovery. This artifact has prompted speculation about the island's hidden history and valuable treasures. As Oak Island continues to disclose its secrets, the world eagerly anticipates additional discoveries and the chance to decipher its ancient mysteries. The Lagena brothers and their devoted team embarked on an extraordinary voyage to uncover Oak Island's long-held secrets.